Dear honored guests, I'm Chris Petkoff, Chair for Understanding Animal Research Council, and it's my great pleasure to be with you tonight to welcome you to the 11th Annual Openness Awards and the 87th Stephen Paget Memorial Lecture, which will be given this evening by Professor Robin Lovell-Badge. And it's an absolute honor to be at the Francis Crick Institute for the Openness Awards this year. Many of you know Francis for his highly distinguished career, but you may not know that towards the end of his career, he was fascinated by one of the deepest questions in neuroscience. What is the seat of consciousness? Francis wanted to solve this question, and his hypothesis was that there was a structure called the claustrum that is very difficult to study, but is highly interconnected into the brain, and that might be the seat of consciousness. And so he convinced my postdoctoral supervisor, Nikos Logothetis, to task a few of us with studying the claustrum, but quite a few of us got distracted by other brain areas, including Catherine Perrodin. And so that mystery of what the claustrum does and whether it's a seat of consciousness is very much a priority for neuroscientists these days. So I'm delighted to be here in the Francis Crick Institute. This year, we've been celebrating the first decade of the Concordat on openness, and I'm thrilled that so many of you were able to attend the anniversary conference back in May. The conference revealed the extraordinary breadth and depth of work taking place to further openness. From the presentations, posters, and workshops, it was clear how much progress has been made to embed openness across the UK life sciences sector, whether this is through developing digital content, opening doors to labs, or working collaboratively across disciplines and institutions. A major success of the conference was that it highlighted the sheer volume of openness initiatives taking place, which you can read about in this year's annual report. The conference also brought together representatives from every single openness agreement in the world. As the first ever openness agreement, a major impact of the Concordat is that it has been adapted by 9 other countries, with more agreements to come, highlighting that openness has become a global movement. We're so delighted that the conference is returning in 2026, and I hope many of you will be able to attend. Please stay tuned for more updates in the next year. On a personal note, the Concordat on openness in research has transformed my life as an animal researcher working in the UK and that of countless others. And I'm delighted to tell you a little bit more about its remarkable history now. The Concordat on openness launched in May 2014, following an 18-month development period. In 2012, polling of public attitudes showed a decreasing acceptance or understanding for the use of animals in research, with 40% of survey respondents saying that they did not have enough information to make up their minds. So our sector responded with a radical approach, a first of its kind public commitment to be open about how, when, and why animals are used in UK bioscience. In October 2012, the Declaration on Openness on Animal Research was signed by more than 40 organizations. And this was a commitment to develop the Concordat and how the signatory organizations would be more open about the ways in which animals were used. In 2013, UAR conducted 2 pieces of public research to ensure that the Concordat would reflect and incorporate the views of the public and the wider research community. And on the 14th of May, 2014, the Concordat on openness was finally launched with 72 signatories. 10 years later, 129 organizations have committed to helping the public understand how animals are used in science. So tonight is about recognizing the great work that Concordat signatories are doing to make the aims of the Concordat a reality. This year, we welcomed 5 new signatory organizations to the Concordat, and we're delighted that the University of Bristol and AstraZeneca were successful in applying for leaders in openness status. The University of Bristol joins 11 other publicly funded research institutions, while AstraZeneca is the first pharmaceutical company to be granted this status within the commercial sector. Leaders in openness is how we recognize those signatories that are consistently achieving and embedding good practice. The next round of leaders in openness nominations will be opening in early 2025, so we really hope to see new applications and renominations from those already granted the status in 2022. Now, as we move on into the awards, I would like to thank our sponsors for their generous support this evening. Tonight, we will be awarding the second Professor Sir Colin Blakemore Memorial Award, a highly commended recognition, and 2 Openness Award winners. I would like to thank my fellow Openness Award judges for their time and their thoughtful deliberations. They ensure that the awards encompass many facets of openness and meet the aims of the Concordat. I would also like to thank UAR science writer Mia Rosenbaum for her incredible drawing of the mouse reproductive system that's been used for tonight's award. I would now like to introduce Sally Robinson to present the Professor Sir Colin Blakemore Memorial Award. Sally worked at AstraZeneca for 26 years, mainly within safety assessment. From 2013, she was the director of the Animal Sciences and Technology team and the establishment license holder supporting oncology and vivo research. She led an initiative to remove the requirement for acute toxicity studies from drug development, leading to a revision of ICH M3 guidelines, and she received an international award for the enhancement of animal welfare for this work. She has over 30 publications relating to the application of the 3 Rs and culture of care in animal research, and she recently completed a master's in medical ethics and law. Sally was a member of the Animal and Sciences Committee from 2016 to 2023, and now she chairs the AWERBs for Cancer Research UK, Manchester Institute, and the University of Bristol.
Brilliant. So I'm just checking, can you hear me at the back? Yeah, fabulous, thank you. So it really gives me great pleasure to be able to present, you're going to have to accept, I'm going to read some of this, the Professor Sir Colin Blakemore Award tonight. Colin Blakemore was a staunch supporter of openness, and he didn't shy away from talking about animal research or his work to anyone who would listen to him. In memory of him, and with funding from the Biomedical Research Education Trust, the Professor Sir Colin Blakemore Memorial Award recognises an individual from a signatory organisation has worked to improve public understanding of how and why animals are used in research in the UK. And it gives me really great pleasure this year to present this second award to one of my colleagues from Bristol University, Professor Emma Robinson. Now, Emma is the academic lead for the Animal Services Unit at the university, and she's the public engagement lead for Bristol Neuroscience. And she has a very long history of championing openness in animal research. Starting in 1998, Emma engaged with schools and the public to raise awareness about animal research, including through the UAR speaker programme and through neuroscience workshops. Emma has advanced the public engagement at the University of Bristol, initiating open dialogue and often including on controversial topics such as the forced swim test. For this award, the judges would like to specifically recognise Emma for her involvement with the 2023 Bristol Neuroscience Festival. At a time when the use of animals was really being challenged at Bristol University, and the university was under great scrutiny following a PETA campaign activity, Emma was adamant that being open had never been more important. So she gave a high-profile evening lecture at Bristol Neuroscience Festival, where she engaged with the public and she talked about the use of animals in research, aiming to understand how to treat mental health disorders. Despite the possibility of the event being targeted by activists, which in fact actually happened, during Emma's lecture, she remained steadfast and committed to openness and providing the public with opportunities to be open and transparent about discussions involving animals and their use in research. She is an inspiration to the whole sector, so please join me in congratulating Professor Emma Robinson.
Thank you, Sally, and congratulations, Emma. I would like to invite tonight's Paget lecturer, Robin Lovell-Badge, to the stage to present the highly commended recognition and the first Openness Award winner. I'll give Robin a proper introduction a little bit later.
Okay.
Thank you, Rob.
So I'm very delighted to present the Association of Medical Research Charities with a highly commended recognition for advances in transparency on the use of animals in grants awarded by AMRC member organizations. So I'm sure many of you, all you know about the AMRC, but they represent a lot of different medical research organizations, charities, etc. The AMRC has recently refurbished its website content. In addition to helpful guidance and expectations for its members on issues relating to animal research, it also contains new information of interest to a wider audience on how laboratory animals are being used by those organizations. For this commendation, the judges wanted to especially recognize the efforts made and value of the AMRC in collating and presenting details of the number of research grants provided by member charities in 2023 that involve animals, including a breakdown of the main animals involved. This information provides useful context for interested parties around animal use in research by medical research charities. This is also an opportunity that other membership organizations can learn from. Hint. Please join me in congratulating the AMRC for this commendation. I wasn't told who's collecting it. Yeah. Sorry. All right. So I don't know. Okay. So I didn't have your name.
I'm Katrina Mandel, the Director of Policy, and this is Colin.
Right. Well done. And then I am to present the first Openness Award winner of the evening. We've had two already, actually. Goes to the MRC Laboratory of Molecular Biology for their approach to public engagement. So in 2023, the MRC LMB ran two significant events. First, a large-scale open day for the general public to find out more about the work of the LMB, where there was a particular efforts were made to engage with and encourage the attendance of local schools. And second, a friends and family barbecue held at the establishment, where guests were given the opportunity to tour inside the animal facility to see firsthand what work their loved ones were involved with. While different in scale and audience, both events were important for sharing meaningful information about the work using animals that takes place within the LMB establishment. So please join me in congratulating the LMC. A lot of people. Wow. So we have to stand. In the middle and
Basically, right on the edge of the stage. And the taller you are, the more. Yeah, that might actually work. Sorry, yeah, your head is 100% getting.
right.
I promise I tested this all out.
And someone else has to hold this one. Hold that. Don't drop it on the So, well done.
Ready? Give me a big smile. Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now for tonight's second and final Openness Award, I'd like to invite Val Summers to present after a short introduction. Val has worked for Envigo and its predecessor organization since the 1980s. Admin roles have turned into home office liaison, regulation, and roles supporting the import and export of large and small animals and the occasional zebrafish. Chance also led Val to become involved with the Laboratory Animal Breeders Association and then the Laboratory Animal Science Association, attending association, industry, and government meetings, including involvement in the changes to the EU directive and transportation legislation. Val is currently a vice president and council member of LASA, co-chairing the HOLTIF group and an ERA board member. Thank you, Val.
Oh, dear, these things are so embarrassing. And I apologise, I'm going to have to read as well. Can you hear me? I'm thrilled to present the second and final Openness Award winner of the evening to the University of Manchester for its event, Culture of Care or Culture of Concern, Let's Debate Animal Research. This event was an important and positive new step in engagement by creating a space for students and others to come together for an evening to hear the issue of animal experiments debated and discussed by 3 experts from Understanding Animal Research, the RSPCA, and the Fund for the Replacement of Animals in Medical Experiments. Audience members were given the opportunity to ask the panel questions, and a video recording of the event was made available online. The judges particularly recognised the efforts that would have been needed to obtain the necessary internal support for holding such an event, and hope that its success inspires other signatories to hold similar events, with a continuing broadening of the perspectives represented on the stage and of those attending. Please join me in congratulating the University of Manchester.
Thank you.